Okay, let me begin by introducing myself. My name is Gilla. That's my internet name. I've been known that for a very, very long time, since IRC days. I'm not a doctor, nutritionist, or dietitian. I started my IT business when I was 17. Developed a lot of bad habits in terms of diet and health. But, the business was priority number one. I am a systems or infrastructure systems engineer slash architect. I've been helping a lot of businesses across Australia, and I fly between Sydney, Perth, and Adelaide quite often, like on a month by month, sometimes 2 month basis. I'm 175 centimeters or 5'7", 125 kilos or 275 pounds, or over 19 stones. Now, I've always been a big fella ever since my high school. And I've always accepted, my build as being massive. So, always lived with it, never bothered me. What started this whole thing was I was stuck in Adelaide during COVID, October 2021. And I developed cataract in my left eye. Just woke up one morning, had a shower, came out, and my vision was still foggy. And I was like, damn, okay, what happened here? Started researching, went to the optometrist, confirmed there was cataract. However, it wasn't normal cataract. Normally, cataracts sit behind the lens and develop over time, like decades, whereas mine was actually in front of the lens. And it was sudden, like full-blown cataract. Anyway, that initial research of how I developed the cataracts led me to believe that I had too much sugar in my system. So I made the switch from, drinking Coke to Coke Zero. Part of my daily routine was to drink at least 4 liters of Coke. It was pretty crazy. Anyone who knew me just always saw a Coke bottle in my hand all the time. Looked after a lot of dentists over in Perth, and they would always tell me it's bad for my health. But, again, business took priority over health or anything else. Then, noticed during my cataract recovery that, just simply by switching from normal Coke to Coke Zero, I lost 10 kilos. But then as soon as I reached that 115 kilo mark, whatever reason, my body just went back to 125 almost instantly, like within a week. Again, didn't think much about it, just continued the way I lived. Then I got a blood test back in October 2022. I can show you a photo of how I looked like back then. Still pretty big. I think my peak weight was at 130. That was probably maybe 4 years ago, before COVID. Yeah, I was big. But again, never bothered me. But after showing the blood test, and I'll show you the results, my blood sugar was really, really high. I think I was at the 14 mark, but I'll display the results. And that sparked a second change where, and coincidentally, I was making a push-up bet on Lifebook Map channel on YouTube, and I lost. So I had to do 5 push-ups, which, again, coincidentally sparked this change where I was changing my habit. So, I started doing push-ups and I started blogging about my weight loss on Gilla.life. How I began, how I started, how I changed my diet, things like that, and continue until around February 23. I found out that, I did an ultrasound scan and I managed to damage all the tendons in my right shoulder and been offline, so haven't really concentrated on that blog, and just gave up and just started concentrating on work again. Now, doing the lifestyle change does require a lot of effort, a lot of discipline, a lot of energy to maintain the consistency, but and seeing that I still couldn't do push-ups even today. I did 5 this morning and just like really wrecked my ACL. I think my physio told me that my ACL is still tender and there's still something's getting caught in between the joints, so it's still inflamed. And I'm starting to notice that my chest or my jacket is getting tighter and tighter. So I said, you know what, I got to get back onto the weight loss. So this is trying again, but this time I'm using the help of Ozempic. So I'm gonna finish this introduction, and the next video will be my first injection of it. How this is, and seeing what are the side effects, and probably documenting my journey on Ozempic. Now, what's supposed to happen is you take 0.25 milligrams 4 times initially. So once a week, you take 1 injection, 0.25, 4 times. Then after you do that, your next step is to up the dosage to 0.5 milligram and do that 4 times, maybe 6 times, depending on how you feel. And then after that, then you're on the 1 milligram. So again, I'm just going to finish up this introduction, and I'll create a second video on how to use it and do my first injection.